Crush.
Welcome to Crush Wednesday. It's Richard. So good to be back here. It's been so long. I think it's been 4 weeks, the longest I've ever been away from Crush. And super pumped to be back. Crush Wednesday. If you are tuning in, say hello. We are a new time slot as well, 11:11. I think 11:11 is about angels and good energy, and that's what I hear it's all about. And we've moved our time slot to 11:11 because we want to try a new time slot. We feel this might be a better time slot for anybody that could listen to live. So hopefully, if you are tuning in for the first time live, please say hello and where you're tuning in from. So just put your name down, where you're tuning in from. Don't just come on, say hello. That would be great so I know that you're tuning in. Today we're doing a very special episode. It's going to be a short, sharp episode today because I thought, let's get straight to the point of our topic of conversation, which is the biggest question we keep getting asked is, what should I pay for a lead? You know, how much is a lead worth? What should I be paying for this fitness lead? And, I want to deep dive on that today. So today is Wednesday, it's Crush Wednesday, and we're talking about what is a lead worth and how much should you pay for a lead? Yes, that is the topic of conversation today. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So pretty pumped to be here. And if you are tuning in, let me just make sure I can see everybody here on the live. I've got my other computer here. And great. Naomi, good to have you here. Very good. Okay, it's all working. So what is the topic today? How much should I pay for a lead? That's the magic number that everybody wants to know. Richard, how much should I pay for a lead? I don't care what you're doing. Matt, good to have you joining here. Hopefully I'll see you soon. David, good to have you here as well. So the question is, how much should I pay for a lead? Well, before I can answer that question, I need to basically figure out what your business is and what is a lead worth. So my question back to you is, before we can say how much should you pay for a lead, we kind of do a bit of a calculation prior. Hey Tracy, good to have you joining. Hope you like our new time slot. And so I want to do, there's about a 4-step process I want to go through. It's a very tactical session today. So if you don't like maths, get your calculator out, all right, or use the phone. John, good to have you joining here. We are going to go through a 4-step process. Guys, I'm seeing you tune in. Make sure you say hi though and where you're tuning in from. The reason why I want you to do that is because it starts to build up a very good community at Crush. So you might want to say my name and the type of business you have, just so everybody can start to understand who's on these Crush Wednesdays. Very important. Community is very important. So the question is, the question we're all talking about is, how much is a lead? How much should you pay for a lead? And my answer back is, what is a lead worth? So I've got a 4-step process I want to take you through. So are we ready? I want you to type in yes if you're ready, and I'm going to take you through the process. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you for the love and likes. It's good to have you here, Sally. So if you are ready, just write yes. I know everybody's listening to me and everybody's ready, and we will commence our very tactical session, but short session today. All right, number one is I want you to work out what is a client worth to you. So how do you work out what a client is worth to you? I just like to keep things really simple at this point. Very simple is best at this point. I do well at maths, but I do well at numbers. And all you have to do is put dollar signs in front of things and then start to figure out, what is a client worth? Simple. So you're going to go your average cost per session. So if you're a group studio, you might be charging between $30 and $50. If you're a PT, you might be charging $60, $80. I want you to work out the average cost of your client. Very simple. So if you're a personal trainer, you might be training them 2 times a week, $80. That's $160. Okay. Then what I want you to do, I want you to work out. So when you got that weekly amount, average weekly amount, I want you to then times it by 48. Okay. I'm calculating that you may have 4 weeks of people on holidays. Okay. So let's say worst case scenario. So I want you to calculate your weekly and go times 48. That gives us the whole year based on people away and in European holidays where everybody's at the moment, I think. Hopefully everybody's getting back soon to train with us. So do that, number one. Now, if you've got your number, please comment it below in the comments so I know that you're working through with me at the same pace. I'm going to move fast, guys, so just put your number in straight away. That's number one. Number one is average cost per session times that by 48. Thank you for the love, everybody. All right, that's number one. Let me see some numbers in the comments before I move on to the next step, please. I want to see some numbers in the comments before I move on, just to make sure everybody is on page and everybody is understanding what we're talking about here. This is probably the most, I would say, one of the most important things that you need to know, especially if you want to scale your business. If you don't know these numbers, it's going to be a very tough game to scale your business. Sally says around 4K per year. Very good, thank you. Who else is joining me? Put your numbers in. Mark, good to have, thank you, liking. Put your numbers in of what a client is worth for you over the space of 48 months. We're at around 4K for Sally. Let me know who else is joining and put your numbers in. Now, everybody's a bit quiet today. I mean, what's going on? I'm back for Crush Wednesday. It's been 4 weeks. I've been missing everybody, and I'm keen to have this conversation with everybody. Where have I been, by the way? I think I've just been scheduling of times has been clashing. I've been away for a week, so there's a few things going on, but I'm pretty pumped to get back for Crush Wednesday. That's number one. What is the client worth? Work out average cost. So Sally says 4,000. Fantastic. Number two, if you want to grow your business, how many clients do you need to work with per week and per month? So what is the number that you need to work with there per week and per month? So how many clients can you physically work with and do you want to work with, most importantly? So this is like you're here, but I know everybody wants to be here, right? Simple mathematics. So if you've got 10 clients and you've got room for 10 more clients, being 20 clients, you want to calculate these clients here. So let's say you've got 10 clients and bringing $40,000 a year, okay? 4,000 times 10, $40,000 a year. Now, you believe that you can get to 20 clients, right? So that would bring in $80,000 per year. So you have the capacity to bring in now $80,000 of revenue. Are you with me, guys? $80,000 of revenue. So your goal is to bring in another $80,000 revenue, whatever that number is for you. Whatever that number is for you. There's no limit ceiling here. So you want to work out that. Now, once you want to do that, then you have a target to aim towards. So we've got our current, what our client is worth, and then we've got, okay, we're at 10, we're going to 20. We know a client's worth $4,000 over the space of 12 months. You might have 6 months, that's fine, whatever the client is worth. So you need to bring another 10 in, or another 50%, or 3 times. We work with a lot of ninjas. We try to double to triple their business based on this kind of calculation. And then the third point here is your conversion points. And this is where it gets a little bit mathematical, but I won't get too mathematical on you, don't worry. Very simple. So if you know that you need to get in 10 extra clients, right? So I'm gonna write 10 on my piece of paper here, so I stay on track as well, 10 extra clients. And you know that those clients bring in $4,000, right? And that's gonna make you 40,000 big ones. Very simple, right? $40,000, I wrote that there. Now, if it's $40,000, then the question is now, how are we gonna get that $40,000? Pete, good to have you here, mate. I haven't seen you for so long. So pumped that you're here. So how are we gonna get that extra clients in? Well, the question is then that's what turns into marketing. That's what we do. So there's an array of things you can do. Hey Melissa, good to have you joining us. There's an array, and I'm not going to get into that topic right now because that's basically what we talk about all the time. But I want to talk about then how to get that, how to calculate what you actually need. So the question is, you've got to work backwards. If you have got a client, you've got to work out how did you get that client? What's the best funnel? What's the best way that you get clients? Just a couple of different scenarios, guys. If you're getting cold clients in, cold clients meaning that your client doesn't know who you are, doesn't like you, trust you, maybe not seen you, you might convert around 10 to 30%. 10 to 30% is a good conversion for a cold lead, right? For a warm lead, someone that's maybe referred, you know, the referrals, they're really good. You might convert between 80 and 100%. Thank you, Mark. 80 and 100%. Maybe 70%. Some of you will say, of course I convert 100%, Richard. I have referrals. I'm awesome when they come into my studio. Yes, I've heard that all before. But you've got to get them to your studio, right? So 80 to 100% of the warm lead. So you got to figure out, are you going to go for warm leads or we're going to go for cold leads? Now, most people say, well, Richard, of course we're going to go for warm leads. But my question is, you've probably maxed out your warm leads, or you've maxed out your referrals, or you need to work that option better. Or if you want to start to market online, on social media, on Facebook, you've got to realize that you might have to warm up your audience to get them to a higher percentage of close. But for today's example, let's just put the number in the middle and let's say we convert it 50% just to make it really simple for everybody here. And for me, of course, too. All right, let's say we convert it 50%. Perfect. So the question is, if we want to get to 10 extra clients, and we convert at 50%, we would need 20 people going through our trial session. Now, there's a few points to this. Now, point number 1 is a lead. Point number 2 is a conversation. And point number 3 is what I call they're coming in for your trial. Okay? So, conversation and lead. So I've just got here, just so you guys can follow me, 1, 2, 3. You can't probably read my writing because I'm really messy at writing. Lead, conversation, and trial. Lead, conversation, trial. Lead, conversation, trial. Lead, conversation, trial. Now, from the lead, Nathan, good to have you here. Been a while, mate. From the lead, very simple. From the lead, you're going to go, okay, I got a lead in from Facebook. I got a lead in from Instagram. From that lead, like putting the details in, how many did I actually pick up the phone? Or how many people actually booked in for my offer? So that's what I call the conversation part there. Now, you know what it's like. You put a Facebook lead ad out there and you say, I'm getting really cheap leads, $1 or $2 leads, amazing. And nobody picks up the phone. So you've got 100 leads in, but you've got maybe 10 people, 10% actually picking up the phone. And I call that the conversation part. That's the part where you need to move them in to your trial offer. Does that make sense? Yes or no, guys? If you're tuning in, say yes or no, just so I know it makes sense for you. So lead, conversation, and then your trial offer. Now your trial offer then goes to your client, okay? So what I'm saying is that from your trial offer, you might convert 50%. 50% from your trial offer. So I'm gonna put 50% here. Now, then if you go a bit before here, so it's 50% on this side here, right, to a client, that means from here, you gotta understand what is the conversion from here. So you're thinking you need, I need just, if I can convert 50%, I need 20 leads. No, in fact, from the lead to conversation, you're going to need a barrel of leads there as well. Because if you don't have a very good system when the lead comes in and you're not calling them within 24 hours or 12 hours, most likely you're going to need a lot more leads, okay? A lot more leads coming through the door. Now, if you're a personal trainer, small business owner, it probably means that you're on the phone really fast and you can probably grab them. If you're a gym owner, you probably need a lot of leads because maybe your sales team sucks and maybe they're slow at actually picking up the phone and actually making that happen. So my question is to you, how many people inquire? So how many leads do come in? So you need to work out that number. How many leads do you have coming in? Sophie, what's going on? It's been a while. Good to have you joining us. I just sent you an email this morning. Funny that. Okay, so lead, and then how many inquiries turned up to the trial? So that's where in between, you don't know what that number is. So let's say I got 100 leads, and I had 75 people I had conversations with, and I had 50 people that actually decided to turn up. You see the difference there? So I got 100 people from the lead, 75 people I was able to pick up and have the conversation, and then 50 people actually booked in for a trial. So from the 50 people that booked in for a trial, the question is, what is your conversion rate on that? Now that is the question that you need to understand. Now a lot of if you've gone through that process, I can probably tell you most likely your conversion rate will be high. Okay, it'll probably be 80% on that. It could be 100%, it could be 50%. So you need to know those numbers there. So what I want you to do now is actually go and work those numbers out. So it's lead, conversation, trial. Now, does that help? Yes or no? Let me know if I've confused anybody. Because most likely what happens is you think you need a client and you get a lead in, but the lead is actually not going into the trial. So it's a lead, it's a conversation, did they pick up where they're moving to, and then it's a trial. That's the process that we have all the time. And this way here, you can kind of figure out, well, do I have a lead problem? Do I have a sales conversation problem? Or do I have a trial offer problem where they don't like my actual offering? So this way we can identify where the leaking bucket is in the business. And if the leaking bucket is in leads, we focus on leads. If the leaking bucket is in the trial sessions, we focus on converting the trial. And then you just fix those points in along the way. It might be the trial session that you got a lot of people in the trial session and you haven't had time to actually have a conversation with them, or just simply take their credit card details. So you might have to do that in the conversation part before they actually walk into your studio, premises, gym, PT studio. Does that make sense? Yes or no? It feels like I'm talking with the war, guys. All right. The other part I want to know, before the lead section, this is for like anybody who's doing Facebook ads. There's 3 fundamental things you're going to need to know. You're going to need to know your numbers. So you need to know what your cost per click is. So this is a different conversation now. This is from the lead here, from the lead part here. If you want to get more leads in, because everybody wants more leads, right? We're in the lead game here. You need to know your cost per click. So when somebody clicks on your ad, what is the cost that it's going to cost you? Okay. Number 2, you need to know your click-through rate, your average click-through rate, and the average click-through rate of a Facebook ad is good, is sort of like your 1.91 and 0.35%. So 0.5 to 1.9 is your click-through rate, and then your conversion rate. So your conversion rate to get them through the next part. So they're the 3 fundamental numbers if you want to get tactical and technical on Facebook you need to know. And then once you understand those numbers, then you can say, okay, well, that means at the end of the day, what is the lead worth? So if you make it really, really simple, very, very simple, and I like simplicity, is that all I want to know is that I go my trial base. So how many people are in my trial and how much does it cost me to get somebody in my trial session? That's it. That's all I need to know. So if that came from Facebook, okay, it cost me $50 to get them to the trial. That means if you got a lead for $1, you would, and you had really bad show up rate, like 1 out of 50 turned up. That means 50 people would have to go through a lead for you to convert to number 2. That makes sense. 50 people would go through a lead to convert number 2. So you just want to know the big numbers. A business owner just wants to understand the big numbers. How much does it cost to get somebody in actually turning up to my trial session? Because guys, you do a free trial session, you might have 3 inquiries and 2 of them don't show up. So that means you've got to take the cost of those 3 inquiries and put that down to 1, because your show up rate is 1 out of 3. Now these are all the items that can be improved. But at the moment it's 1 out of 3, so you got to look at that number there. So for example, so my big question is, and when I started, number 1, if you're with me still, is that my big question is how much is a client worth? Now Sally said $4,000, okay? Nathan, how much is the client worth for you? Soph, how much is the client worth for you? I think you guys, clients should be worth around 2.5 for you, if my calculations are kind of correct, about $2,000, $2.5 grand. So that means to me is then, well, what are you prepared to pay for a client? What are you prepared to pay for a client? And that's really up to you of how much you're prepared to pay for a client. The person who's prepared to pay more, either spending more or using more time to grow those clients, is generally the one that's going to win. Bye, Tracy. Is generally the one, I hope you like our new time slot, by the way, is generally the one that's going to win. So it's time or money that you're going to have to give. So for example, I can tell you on a bit of a baseline, gym leads can cost between $5 to $15, $20, kind of it's put a bad. And this is if you've done a pretty good awareness campaign. Personal training, good quality lead, hey Aline, will cost anywhere between $15 to $30, okay? And your studio leads are anywhere between kind of $10 to $30, right? PT is probably a little bit higher, depending. PTs can go up to $80, $90, $100, right? Depending on what you're actually offering, depending on your trial offer. So not to freak you out, but to grow a business, you need to be, I guess, consistent in what you want to do. Now, if you say, Richard, I've got a budget of $100 a month, that's it. Okay, great, no dramas. You've got a budget of $100 a month. What would I do with $100? What I would do is I would put the $100 on an awareness campaign. So I'd put $100 on the best converting video that you have or the most interesting video that you have. And that's where I'd put the whole $100. And then what I'd do is I'd do a very good job of making sure that I'm following up with any organic messages and making sure that when you have the conversations and people see you, hopefully they've seen you from the video that way. If I had $100 a day, what would I do with it? I'll be running an awareness campaign. If you're brand new to Facebook and Instagram and you've never done any branding, I'll put 60, 70% in awareness budget, and I'll put the rest of it, 30%, in like the ad budget, okay? Because otherwise your ads will cost a lot more if nobody sees your awareness pieces. Now, I hope I'm not confusing everybody here. I'm going very tactical and technical on my first crush back after 4 weeks. But I missed everybody, and I missed doing some crushes, so I'm pretty pumped again. Might be a bit rusty, But I just want to get to the number that everybody's looking at doing. They want to grow their business. Now, to grow your business, you need to know your numbers. It's very simple. Hey, Pam, you need to know your numbers. So the only number you need to know is how much is a client worth? If it's 2, 4, 8,000, 10,000, 1,000, $100, you need to know that. And then the biggest question is, what are you willing to pay to get one of those clients? And I always run the scenario like this. If I had a client that was 80% pretty much would sign the dotted line with you, 80% would sign the dotted line, because I can never say 100%, you never know. 80% sign the dotted line, what would you be willing to pay me for my great referrer? That is the question I have for you. What are you willing to pay me for your great referrer? And then the next question is, if I gave you one every single week, would you be willing to pay me for that? And how much would you be willing to pay for me? Now, some people say the golden rule is I'm going to spend 10% of my sale on leads. So if you were getting $4,000 in, you'd be willing to spend $400 on a client per se. So if it's 80% sold, you might want to be spending $360, $350, right? So that's a process that you could do right there. But it really comes down to, you are amazing at what you do in your business. You're amazing, you're phenomenal at what you do in your business, right? When clients come to the door, I know they stick around for years and years and years. I know they refer you, a lot of business. So what you have to understand is that as soon as you're ready to grow, and as soon as you know you've got a good product, it's got a good price, you've got a low cancellation rate, you know you're at a good state to possibly start to market consistently. Now, you might have done campaigns before that worked really well on Facebook. Some dived possibly. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's worked or it's dived. You need to have a set budget that you're willing to spend to convert your clients. And consistency is the game that's going to work. And my intention for those who, I've got a couple of ninjas on the line here, and we've got people just in our community overall. Ninjas, I probably don't need to speak to you specifically, but I'm speaking to everybody else who doesn't know anything about Facebook. And it all comes down to making sure you're okay to grow your business. And to grow your business, you either need to put time in organic posting, or you need to put money on Facebook. And understand that just because you put money on Facebook the first time, it may not work the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. I remember when I first started doing Facebook ads and started trying it out with our own money, it was really scary at first, because we had a lot of different scenarios where we wanted to get people in and put them through a bit of a funnel that would take maybe 2-3 months. And I was afraid that that client wouldn't kind of finish up anywhere except they'd forget about it. So I wanted to make sure we got a lead straight away. And if you want to do that, you got to make sure that you're happy to ensure that the lead straight away is going to cost you more money. Okay, and you got to be faster on the response. But if you're not happy to do that, it's very simple. You're just going to make sure that you spend more time on organic posting before you're happy to do that. Don't be disillusioned out there, because a lot of the, let's say, gurus or people smashing themselves on Facebook saying, hey, we can get your leads at $1, $2. I would like to know, I've seen a lot of backends, and to be honest with you, numbers are all skewed, because you can skew numbers very easily. For example, if you're in a regional area, okay, and in a regional area, there's not that much competition, or there's not that much traffic, most likely if you do your very first, second or third campaign, your Facebook campaign is going to go really well. Regional goes really well. But after that, what will happen, it can dry out, and you'll need different mechanisms, because your area has been saturated, and so you're going to need a different offer all the time. So you're going to need to consistently change your offer, or you need to change your strategy, right? So initially, your ad cost might be really low. If you're in a city, a really busy CBD, and it's like, say, Sydney, for example, and you're working out of Fitness First, and you're trying to advertise on Facebook, whatever it may be, it's going to be really hard to do a cutthroat, because cutthroat and cut through, it's because if this competition's really dense there. So you're going to need to spend a lot more money, and you have to have a better converting or better attention grabbing ads, I should say, not abs as well, abs, to cut through and to make sure people are attracted to your offer, to get people's attention. So, and the other thing is, you never advertised before, sometimes you can have some good traction initially, but then it will slow down. But the key here is just to make sure that you consistently keep advertising. And what we'd like to do at Com is we always have a budget. We call it a testing budget. where we have about 20% in our budget. So it's $100, we have $20 where we're testing to see if that testing budget, like we're gonna try a different ad copy, or we're gonna try to do something I haven't done before, and we test different things. So you shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I've lost my $20. It's a testing budget. Because without testing, you don't know, what's coming next. You can't keep running ads and thinking that ad's gonna work forever. I tried that and it doesn't work. It never does. So you got to continually keep changing it. And we know that Facebook's a lot. So the other options you can do, I know we're talking about Facebook, but there are other options to advertise. We've got LinkedIn, we have Instagram, we have SEO. Wouldn't put a huge amount of money there, guys. Just pre-warning, if you are spending more than a lot of money, $1,000, I would definitely stop that. And I used to have an SEO company, and SEO, again, it's a long approach. So if you want leads tomorrow, SEO is not your game. That's a 6-month game. So if you've got $1,000 to spend, you're gonna put all on SEO. That's a bad move. If you have $10,000 to spend and you're gonna put $1,000 in SEO, you're gonna put $1,000 here. Sure, that's not a bad move. So you just gotta understand, where you actually want to get your traffic from. And then, so they're your options there. And also a thing called Google Remarketing, where if you're a ninja, we talked about that last time as well. Google Remarketing works well too. So guys, I have no questions today. Naomi says, thanks Richard, we have to leave now and finish watching the replay. Pam, I was talking about this yesterday, and it was a tough and scary gig. Yes, Facebook's a tough and scary gig, but you don't have to be scared off too much. What are the other comments we've got going in this group? Let me just see them all, if I can find them all. Great, Pam says hi. I have a lot of highs going on here. Tell me, I'd like to know, what is everybody's number and what are you prepared to pay for a lead? So if I can wrap up this, what are you prepared to pay? And I'm not gonna make it easier for you. What are you prepared to pay for a client? What are you prepared to pay for a client? And don't tell me a coffee, please. Don't tell me a coffee. What are you prepared to pay for a client consistently? Not as a once-off. But if I was Santa Claus and I had all your leads in my bag and I said, here you go, what would you be prepared to pay for me for a client? For a client, please let me know your comments. Comment below. While I do that, I'll tell you a bit of a story. Back in the day, I have run a lot of different directories and different online directories. I had a relocation directory, a funerals directory, a removals directory. Funerals directory. A personal training directory, a trades directory, breast enlargement directory, dentist directory. Now, the reason why I say those kind of industries is because those industries understand what a client is worth. And those industries are willing to pay a dollar amount for that actual lead or the client. So for example, a removalist, I could have a removalist directory today, and I can call up any removalist and I'll say, Mr. Removalist, I have a lead for you. What are you willing to pay for a lead? And that person most likely will pay me between $50 to $100 per lead. That's for an interstate removals lead. Why? Because they understand that lead for them is worth $2,000 to $8,000 for the lead. If I had a funerals directory, which I've had in the past, that funeral parlor is willing to pay us around $100 to $200 for the lead. I'm talking about leads, guys, not clients, right? Because that service is, if you've unfortunately been through that situation, that service is worth between $3,000 to $10,000 for a funeral. And they also know that lead has to be closed up within a 24-hour period of 12 hours. So they've got mobile phones all the time. They're always answering their phone. And so working in these industries has taught me a lot about the power of a lead and what people are willing to pay for a lead. Now, I don't think this industry, the fitness industry, is yet at that stage that they have the number, because clearly nobody has given me numbers yet. Guys, what are your numbers? Nobody's given me what are you prepared to pay for a client. Now, I can tell you right now, this industry is changing and evolving. And, people are wanting leads, but nobody's willing to pay per lead. They're willing to pay, I'll just put a fee on top of it. I'll put $100 a day. But I'm asking you, if I have a client for you, what are you willing to pay? What are you willing to pay for the lead? That's going to be the question that's going to be asked with this industry. And this is where I believe the direction will change for those who don't want to do marketing and they say, you know what, I just want to lead. Now, that's not the right way always because they've got to buy into the brand, but some industries are definitely down that path. So that's my take on this, is that it's really important to start understanding what are you willing to pay for a client. Please, you need to know the number. If you don't know the number, you don't know what you want to put into your budget on education to do it yourself. You don't know, hey, Pete, you don't know any of those conversations. You don't know what do you want to put into Facebook. If you had a referral, are you willing to give that client maybe a massage or a gift voucher of $100 or $200 for that? Do you appreciate that kind of lead? So there's food for thought, guys. I hope you've enjoyed my first Crush Wednesday back. Oh, we have an answer. We have an answer. The crickets have come out. Pam is willing to pay $60 to $100 for a client in your business. Well done. Because you know what, Pam? You were the first to say, I'm willing to pay for that. So there you go. There's my client. You give me my $60 to $100. Everybody else is going, oh, I don't know if I want to pay $60 to $100. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I might just do a boost on Facebook. Oh, John, he's up the game $100. John's got $100 on me now. So my lead's now going to go to John. And I'll see if Pam wants the lead as well. Maybe I can split the lead between two of them and they'll pay $50 each perhaps, and they can battle out on the phone. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. Thank you for participating, John and Pam. Is that without understanding what you've got ready to go to spend, don't think you're ever going to grow your business on a scalable way. And I'll say that again, and I hope I insult some people on this. Don't think you're ever going to pay to scale your business in a scalable way if you don't understand that you have to pay. Now, you might have to pay in money, but you're going to have to pay in time. Time as in organic Facebook, organic social media, okay? That's one way. Or time in saying thank you to clients, taking them for lunch to say thank you for that client. That's time. Or money as in, hey, I'm gonna buy a massage voucher and give it to my client as a thank you, so they continue to refer and they feel gratitude for that. So that's a message today. Just to recap, guys, what we talked about today. If you are tuning in, probably go to the start. What's a client worth to you? Know your numbers. So basically times your dollar amount per week over 48 weeks. What are your conversion points? Lead, conversation, and trial. That's your conversion points. And then most importantly, know your numbers on Facebook. If you're going down that way, your cost per click, your click-through rate, and your conversion rate that you're actually converting them into a trial. And then when the trial comes, all the magic happens. The magic happens and the lead and the clients come through. But guys, food for thought for Wednesday. Let me know if this time is good for you. It's 11:11. These lives generally go for 30 minutes. So that would make it kind of wrapping up now, I guess. 30 minutes. And we've put these time slots in because, again, we want to change and have better time for you. Hopefully, it's a more quieter time so everybody can get involved. Remember, lives are about community. So that's what it's about. Last question from Daniel. Is it okay to be happy and in one area and squeeze the impact in that one area? Yes, 100%. It's happy. It's perfect to be in one area. Daniel, I love your process on that. You want to be on one area, you want to be on one niche market, and you want to go heavy and you want to go hard in that niche or that area, and you want to be the number 1 or 2 in the marketplace. There is no room for number 3. Don't think you're a number 3, guys, in the marketplace or landscape. You're a number 1, and if you're a number 1, if you choose your niche, you choose the area, you are a number 1 in the marketplace. You're not number 2 or 3, and Daniel did a great job on that. If you squeeze that impact in the area, perfect. Pam says better for me. Guys, thank you so much. If you like this, all I ask you to do is bring a friend, bring a colleague into the Crush Your Fitness marketing group and say, hey guys, this is an awesome group. I can ask any questions I want. So bring a colleague or a friend into this group and say, yeah, welcome in, and we welcome them in with open arms. What can I say now? I want to keep talking, but I'm going to wrap up. But what I am going to say, if you've never been and watched any of our content, please go to our website, Com Marketing, and go and watch. We have about 80 different little 5-minute videos. Go and watch that, commarketing.com.au. Go and get involved in that and watch some content. If you're interested in, learning more about, if you're a new marketer, if you're a new business owner, fitness business owner, there's probably a good course for you. It's called the Marketing Essentials. It's a 4-hour course, and I would say that's the best place for you to start. You can go to our website, you can buy it straight away. It's like $97, okay? If you're interested in more scaling up your business, I would say, put scale in the comments below and reach out to us. And then we can have a conversation and we can book you in for a marketing muscle up. It's a 45-minute one-on-one call, myself, one of my team, and we go through where's your holes in your bucket. We can actually probably work these numbers out for you. And then we can show you how we can get you to your end result. Okay, so if this has been interesting for you today, but kind of confusing, just reach out and say scale or help in the comments, and we will reach out to you and book you in for a complimentary 45-minute, we call it marketing muscle up call, and we can show you the light. We can show you the light and how to get there. So that's the ways that you can take action from today. But if you've understood everything we talked about today, the action steps would be to start mapping it out and knowing your numbers. That was the most important thing. And next time I come on next week, I'm going to ask you what your numbers are and what are you prepared to pay for a client. That's going to be my flavor of August. I'll catch you next time on Crush Wednesday. Bye for now.
Crush.